I'm here in Las Vegas, as you know, but before I got onto this flight, I had a very interesting conversation with a bunch of young creators who've now become Finfluencers. How did they become Finfluencers? Is it a feasible job option? Can you quit your 9-to-5 job and become a Finfluencer? Well, let's find out.
Shreyaa, you're no stranger to quitting your job and pursuing a similar career in explaining stuff happening in the personal finance world, what's happening in crypto, taxation. I'll be very honest with you, as business journalists and tech reviewers and stuff, often these are things that we face as challenges because it's not the most cool or interesting content. So to make it cool is quite a task. Has it been a task for you as well?
Oh, 100%. Because, there are so many minute details to all of these topics, be it taxation, be it insurance, be it investing. And the thing with finance is you cannot really put out a fact that's incorrect or it's not fact checked at least 3-4 times from multiple sources. So in that sense, it is very challenging, but it's a challenge that I really enjoy taking up every single day because it allows me that sort of creative outlet, very honestly. So as you mentioned, when I quit my job, I think the sort of driving factor behind that was that it didn't feel like a creative space. I didn't feel like I was able to express myself 100%, which is why I quit. So when I started this content creation journey, it started out more as a creative outlet to the ideas I had in my head. Because even before that, I was working as a freelancer with a lot of fintech companies. So I knew that there was definitely a demand for content out there, 100%, because I was working with some of the biggest fintech companies across the country. But I think the final push came for me when, like a lot of my friends asked me, this was around April 2021, and they were like, okay, what do we do about taxation? Okay, like we're starting jobs, what do we do now? So I think that for me was sort of that tipping point that okay, now probably there's definitely a demand for it, and it's a challenge to put across that one point around, say for example, taxation on crypto in just 30 seconds. So let's see how it goes, and it's been going pretty well.
So Sharan, somewhere in your creator journey, you quit your job, and I'm guessing your parents must have been aghast at that, saying, why are you quitting your job for a career on Instagram? And just to put things in perspective, if someone young is watching and they are inspired by your content, and maybe they want to take that leap as well, because there's always a dearth of good creators and there's always a space for good content on apps like Instagram. If that person was working in the media or a management consultancy or whatever and making 100 rupees, how would you advise a creator in terms of being a personal finance expert or a scholar in the next 6 months, 12 months? What could he be expecting to earn and how should he go about his journey?
The money, the money aspect of it, right? So once you reach like 10K followers, I think that is when the brands start reaching out to you for brand promotions. So I think for someone who has around 10K followers, right, that person might probably not be able to make as much money as they're making in their primary job. So let's say I'm assuming this is a 25-year-old person, right, and let's say they get they're 2 or 3 years into their main job, their corporate job, right? I would say maybe with someone at 10K followers, he might be not as much as how much he's making in the corporate job, right? Plus, it will be an unstable income as well at 10K followers. But once he reaches the 100K mark, that is where things get interesting. I would say someone with 100K followers in the finance domain space is probably making as much as someone who is graduated from IIME in a year.
That's a great way of putting it. Fair enough.
Right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, for sure. That is what's happening. And coming to my own experience, what has happened is, you said, my parents would have been aghast when I quit my job. They were actually clueless as to what I'm doing when I started creating content itself, right? They don't understand it because Indian parents, when they see that effort is not leading to money, they might not probably, be in support of that, because at the end of the day, something that you do has to make money, right? They won't buy the dream that I'm doing it just because I like it or, it's fun. Right? They want you to spend your time on things which make money. So initially that was there. But eventually when I did quit my job, my parents were kind of comfortable, with that decision, because they knew, right, that content creation was giving me, good enough income to sustain my lifestyle.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.